Yo, what up? It's your boy Mac TheWiseSole, your home for sneakers and sports. Hey, so today's episode, we're going to go ahead and get into a few things. We have NFL Championship weekend going down this weekend. Also, NBA All-Star starters were announced. Were there some snubs? I don't think there was, but I will get into all that. Also, on the sneaker tip, the Nike Air Diamond Turf drop, Deion Sanders, Falcons, 49ers. The debate goes on and on. You call it what you want to. We'll talk about that drop as well. Also, I'm going to get into 49ers talk. We finally have a defensive coordinator. We'll talk about the Warriors. The season is starting to slip away. We're going to get into all that. This is the gold standard with your boy Mac TheWiseSole. Run it! Yo, what up? So it's episode 1 of the gold standard. So like I said, let's go ahead and get right into it. NFL Championship weekend. How are things gonna go down? We have the Eagles versus the Commanders, Kansas City versus Buffalo. Hey, these are low-key some rivalries, man. Definitely in the NFC. The AFC has definitely become a thing between Mahomes and Allen. We'll break all that down, kind of get into that in the first segment here. So let's go ahead and just start off in Philadelphia, man. So, the Eagles and Commanders. How is this game gonna go? A lot of it's gonna really depend on one key factor, and that's gonna be Jaden Daniels. Is Jaden Daniels going to step up and live up to the moment and help his team elevate and surpass? Because I want to say Philly's like a 6-point favorite going into this game. This shouldn't be a close game as far as the experts say. The Eagles have all the experience. They've been here before. They have a more talented roster than the Commanders. And defensively, that's really debatable. But the Eagles have really stepped up lately on the defense. Like, hey, Vic Fangio got them boys playing tough. And you can't undersell that. But how do I feel going into this game? Personally, I will be rooting for the Commanders. So let me just go ahead and say that right off the bat. Again, I like Jaden Daniels and what he's doing with that team. They have scary Terry McLaurin, man. He's a beast at receiver, but they're really gonna play into that Philadelphia strength. That defense is, like I said earlier, with Fangio has really stepped up this year after the craziness and the turmoil they had last year. The Eagles have an unblockable player on the defensive line. Jalen Carter he can't be blocked. If you don't double team him, Jaden Daniels is gonna have a long day. That's just the facts. I mean, it is what it is. So the Commanders definitely need to pay attention to that. Philly, on the other hand, Jalen Hurts, he's since the concussion, he's definitely been shaky. A lot of people will say he's been shaky all season. What's going on with AJ Brown? My guy's over here reading books. But the thing they can count on the most, their offensive line and Saquon Barkley. That might be all they need. If they can play bully ball against the Commanders, that might be really all they need to deal with. I mean, you keep the ball out of Jaden Daniels' hands with Saquon in the offensive line, Washington can't beat you. But hey, it's going to be a fun game, man. It's a rivalry. NFC East opponents. And I know Cowboy fans, I know y'all are pissed. Y'all got to be pissed. Two of your rivals in the championship game. Hey, couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. But hey, I ain't got to worry about that this year. So it's all good. So prediction-wise, NFC game. Again, 6-point favorite for the Eagles over the Commanders. Again, I'm rooting for the Commanders. I'm rooting for Washington. But I think the Eagles, they're gonna go ahead and I think they're gonna take care of business at home, knock out the Commanders, and they're on the way to Super Bowl 59. Philadelphia in New Orleans. It just seems like it's a thing that's going to happen. So that's how I feel about game one. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments below. Do you have the Eagles? Do you have the Commanders? Who will be the X factor? Obvious choices are both sides. You have the quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels. Who's going to do what? We'll see. It should be a fun game. I'm really excited about that. Now to game number 2, the AFC Championship game. The Buffalo Bills go to Kansas City to face the Chiefs. Can Josh Allen finally get over the hump and defeat Pat Mahomes in the playoffs when it matters? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking you right in the camera, Buffalo. Josh Allen, I need you to win this game. I need you to win this game. That's just what it is. I need you to go in and do work. There are people out there who never thought you would get to this point again. I wasn't one of them. I believed in the Josh Allen factor and Kansas City. Tied for the best record in football this season. And it don't even really look like they were that good of a team. I mean, they dominated. Yeah, we understand that. Pat Mahomes did not have a typical Pat Mahomes season. Travis Kelce seemed like he wasn't the same. Maybe he's falling back, taking a step back. But Kansas City is here again. They did what they needed to do in their first round playoff game. Now they're hosting the AFC Championship game. Do you go against Andy Reid in these kind of moments? I mean, ever since he's gotten to Kansas City, I mean, outside of the Cincinnati thing and the New England era, I mean, Andy Reid, he gets it done in these games, and it's hard to go against that. I want to say, let me look up the point spread on this game. I want to say the point spread on this one is, I want to say it's 2.5, maybe a 2-point favorite. It is. I'm looking at it right now. A 2-point favorite, Kansas City over. That means it's an even game because you're going to get 3 points just for being at home. And the odds makers are saying it's a 2-point spread. James Cook is going to be crucial for Josh Allen. Because if they can establish and get that running game going, similar to the game I talked about earlier, they can do it. I have faith that Buffalo will get this done. And this could just be me hating, because I'm a 49ers fan. This could be me hating on Kansas City. Kansas City fans, I don't like the Chiefs. It is what it is. I just don't mess with y'all like that. And that ain't no disrespect. I respect your dynasty you got building right now. Pat Mahomes, he is the definition of QB1 right now. He is. That's what it is. But Josh Allen, he needs to do this for the rest of them boys in the AFC. For Lamar Jackson. I would say Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow's done it. He's beaten Pat Mahomes in the playoffs, and he's been to a Super Bowl. But all these other tier 1 quarterbacks they say are in the AFC, Lamar, Burrow, Herbert, all of them, whether you think Herbert is a tier 1 or not, they need to see Mahomes can fall in the championship game or in the playoffs period because he's getting in their way. This is the shit that Michael Jordan used to do to players back in the NBA when he was winning his titles. Once he started getting Super Bowls and winning, NBA championships and winning, he wasn't letting nobody else get to the finals. Somebody got to knock Pat Mahomes out, man. And this is going to be a tough game. Who do I want to win? Obviously, Buffalo. Will they win? I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. Who do you have winning? Kansas City? Buffalo? It should be a hell of a game. But I'm a stick with Buffalo. Buffalo will pull off the upset. Final score 28-24. Buffalo, Josh Allen finally makes a Super Bowl. Beats Mahomes in the playoffs. There will be no three-peat. Shout out to my guy Spade. He is rooting for this three-peat. He's not a Kansas City fan. He is a New Orleans Saints fan. Look, the Saints got enough to worry about right now. But he's trying to focus on positive when it comes to football because he's really lost hope in his team. But he's rooting for the three-peat. I'm not. I want Josh Allen to win. I got Buffalo winning. But Kansas City, I won't be surprised if they get to the Super Bowl again. So I guess that's going to be my Super Bowl prediction. I'm going to go Bills, Commanders. Bills, Commanders in the Super Bowl. This is a rematch from the Super Bowl in the late 90s. I mean, we had different team names then. We won't talk about that on this show, but you know what I mean. So, hey, Bills Commanders, Josh Allen versus Jaden Daniels in Super Bowl 59. I'm going to lock that in. It's possible I could be wrong, and it could be Eagles, Chiefs, rematch, Super Bowl 57. We'll see. But anyway, let me know how you feel about that. Also in the comments below. Now let's move on to the NBA. NBA All-Star starters were announced this week on TNT. Shout out to TNT Inside the NBA. I love that crew. Happy the show will be returning next season. It will be on ESPN, but they say Turner is still going to be producing it, so I'm going to roll with that. So let's go ahead and start off with the starters in the Eastern Conference. Running the guard position, we have Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. Now, the question is, was anybody snubbed in the Eastern Conference? Mainly Cade Cunningham. People will argue LaMelo Ball, but the Hornets are LaMelo's downfall right now. They're just not good. So he's going to always not get the benefit of the doubt, even though he's been playing crazy ball. But I could argue Cade Cunningham should be starting in the All-Star game. He's taken Detroit to another level. He's elevated his game to another level, which I am happy to see. I enjoy watching Cade Cunningham play, and he could be there. But you can't argue with Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he has the best team in the Eastern Conference record-wise. He's leading that team. Jalen Brunson is doing his thing with the Knicks. That's crazy. The fact that the Knicks have two starters. Speaking of the second starter, Karl Anthony Towns, who right now is definitely in my top 4 MVP conversation. Karl Anthony Towns has taken the Knicks. Hey, he's elevated that team. I wasn't sure how that trade was going to go, to be honest with you, man. Like, I know Knicks fans are probably going crazy out in New York, like, enjoying the hell out of that trade. Also, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Hey, the Greek Freak. You knew that's what was going to happen. He's probably, I want to say, the top vote getter in the Eastern Conference. Giannis is Giannis, man. That dude is a beast. He definitely deserved to be a starter. And we have Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics, the best player, allegedly, on the second best team in the Eastern Conference. I am still a Jaylen Brown fan, and I'm not saying he's better than Jason Tatum. He is. But it's possible he is arguably the better player on that team. But Jason Tatum definitely deserves to start. Not mad at that. The Celtics have been, the Celtics, they're having a crazy defense run right now, their title. They're doing well, they're playing okay, but they're low-key under the radar. I mean, we think of them as contenders and all, but they haven't played with that spark. Mind you, they just blew out my Golden State Warriors by like 40 points the other night. That shit was crazy. So I guess they had to do what they had to do. Tatum got his get back on Steve Kerr for the Olympics and stuff. And whatever. It's still domination over here, though. It's whatever. But, that's a conversation for another day. Now, let's get to that Western Conference team right here. The Western Conference starters. First off, Nikola Jokic, the Joker, starting in the West. Obviously, the best big man in the NBA. Arguably the best player in the NBA. We also have LeBron James, Kevin Durant. I mean, are you going to argue with that? You have a top 2, top 3 player of all time, still playing at the age of 40, doing what he's doing is crazy work. Shout out to LeBron. KD, Kevin Durant gets to come back to San Francisco, start for the Bay Area fans. As we know, the Bay is hosting the All-Star game this weekend. Another thing I'm excited about. That's going to be crazy fun. So good for KD. He's going to get a great reaction. I think the Bay fans are definitely going to show him love out here. Now, the backcourt. This is where, things could have some questions or whatever. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, the best player in the NBA. I said it. SGA, right now, is the best player in basketball. And I could say it's not close. It low-key is close, but I could say it's not. What he's doing, his game is so amazing to watch. Like, the way he plays the ball, people say, oh, no, he's foul hunting. No, he's not. He's playing 3-level basketball. It's crazy. SGA's on another level right now, and it's crazy. Shout out to the Clippers. I know that gotta hurt Clipperland. I know that gotta hurt. That's crazy. And then the final starter in the Western Conference, Stephen Wardell Curry, or better yet, Wardell Stephen Curry, as we like to call him, as his real name. Hey, Steph Curry, you know he had to start. It's the Bay. We had to let Steph start. He's playing good basketball. The Warriors were off to an amazing start. We were off to like a 12-3 start. We have faltered. It's not because of Steph. It really is not because of Steph. It's everything else. It's everything else. I won't argue that. But Steph definitely deserves to start. I know people are going to make arguments for Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, even De'Aaron Fox. And I get it. You know, the Kings are playing well lately. Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. Ant's doing his thing. But the Timberwolves, what is happening? They are definitely missing the other all-star starter, Karl Anthony Towns, because it's not looking well. And then Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies are the second best team in the Western Conference. Argue with yourself about it. Argue with yourself about it. Ja Morant and the Grizzlies are the second best team in the Western Conference. So, should he be a starter? No, he'll make the All-Star team. So, either way, he'll be good, you know. That'll be something that really gets looked into. So I feel like the starters were good. I think the NBA and the fans did a great job of getting the starters. We had some voting results. Let me take a look real quick. I want to see something as far as Western Conference guards go. Let me see the voting. So if we look at the top four, we had SGA, Steph Curry, Luka, and Anthony Edwards were the top four. Kyrie Irving was fifth, Ja Morant sixth, followed by James Harden. De'Aaron Fox is way down here in seventh, just ahead of Devin Booker. I mean, it's hard to make the Western Conference backcourt. I mean, Jalen Green definitely has a case. Norman Powell, most improved player. Norman Powell is going to be MIP this year. That's just what that is. I mean, but I can't get mad at that. Luka obviously has been out for like a month, maybe 2 months, and he still had 2 million fan votes. Luka's international, so we knew what that was going to be. The question we need to ask everybody is, what would have happened had Luka not gotten hurt and he had played for the last month? What starter was it going to start him? Steph is still in the Bay. SGA is the best player in basketball. How is that going to go? Great question to ask there. Great question to ask there. Now, let me also take a look one more thing. Let's look at that Eastern Conference backcourt real quick as far as the numbers. Let me pull that up. So third in the Eastern Conference was LaMelo Ball. Trae Young, who's doing very well. He didn't really have the fan votes. He was like fourth or fifth in the fan voting. Dame, then Cade Cunningham. Cade is a beast, man. I'm not gonna extra glaze it. Cade is a beast. He'll definitely make the All-Star team. I could argue Trae should probably make the All-Star team too. Shout out to the ATL, the Hawks, y'all. Y'all didn't get rid of Trae yet, but there was a lot of whispers that was going to be a thing. So that's how the All-Star starters went. I think everybody got it right. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments below. Let's go ahead and talk about sneaker talk. Let's get into some sneaker information here. So, the Nike Air Diamond Turf dropped Thursday, January 24th. Actually, it was Friday. That was yesterday, right? Yeah, they dropped yesterday. My pair shall be landing soon. I'm looking forward to that. The Diamond Turf series, since Dion has been back with Nike in Nike's good gracious, really ever since he went to Colorado, they've ramped this stuff back up. Obviously, when the shoes were dropping earlier, it took away a lot from Dion's branding and things of that nature when they first dropped RetroWise, or when they last dropped RetroWise, like mid 2015, 2016, something like that. But now, with Dion's full backing, Dion back in the family, these have been flying off the shelf. The Air Diamond Turf series has been going crazy. This version here, the Falcons, 49ers, depending on what you want to call them, Obviously, we know he was playing with the Falcons when they first dropped. He did also wear them with the 49ers. And with the Nike Air in gold, it gives 49er vibes. You can wear whatever you want. You can wear Falcons gear. You can wear 49ers gear. It's going to all be the same. It's a dope shoe. I don't care what you call it. I'm hyped about it. I can't wait to get that pair in. It's been a crazy drop. A lot of people didn't keep energy. We heard some things like, "Oh, I'm not copping those. Oh, I'm not getting those." Nah. You got them. You got them. I know you got them, and it's okay. I know you want these shoes. So that's a great thing, man. I hope everybody was able to cop a pair. Again, they dropped January 24th. Retail price $150. The sneakers app was crazy. They said there was only 6,000 pairs. There's no way there was only 6,000 pairs of Diamond Turfs on sneakers app. There's no way. I mean, again, some of us got our pairs. Some of y'all didn't. But I hope you did. I hope you got your pair. That again is a crazy release. And this whole year, 2025, is gonna be crazy. Let's not even talk about the bread ones that are dropping in like 2 weeks. The news on that is almost heartbreaking. For anybody that wants those, we're definitely probably not touching that sneaker. I mean, nobody I know is playing resale for that. That if we get lucky, so be it. I'll go for it, but if I miss out, I miss out. Because 2025 is going to be a crazy sneaker year. We'll get into all that in future episodes and talk about that. So before I go ahead and wrap this up and get out of here, I want to give a shout out to Vallejo's very own CC Sabathia. 707 stand up. Being inducted or voted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. That's a great thing right there. That is a great thing. Also being inducted into the Hall of Fame and voted in, Ichiro Suzuki. Give a shout out to Seattle. And y'all know I don't give Seattle a lot of love for anything because I don't really mess with Seattle like that because of the Seahawks. I don't really mess with them. But they do deserve their basketball team. Bring back the Sonics. But shout out to Ichiro. Shout out to CC Sabathia. Getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame. That is a great thing. But until the Hall of Fame acknowledges Barry Lamar Bonds, I don't really care about the Hall of Fame. I'm only giving love right now because it's from the 707 and CC. But hey, Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. I don't care what you think. That kind of bothers me, man. But we'll talk about that. Also, real quick, 49ers, finally, defensive coordinator has been hired. The Niners finally have selected a coordinator. Robert Saleh is back in the rotation with the squad. The 49ers have had a really good start to the offseason, firing Nick Sorensen, last year's DC, bringing back Robert Saleh. A lot of us hoped that was the case. There was some worries he wasn't going to be the guy because he might have snatched up one of these other NFL head coaching jobs, which we'll talk about that next episode of these other jobs. But shout out to Kyle Shanahan getting his guy, Robert Saleh. Does Saleh alone fix the 49ers defense? No. The Niners still need to improve on the defensive end, especially the defensive line. We need some more horses up front, or else we're going to run into the same problems, man. Look, let's be honest right here, 49er fans. You know, this is Niner gang here. I'm talking to you directly. This is the fourth defensive coordinator in 4 years. Yes, we're going back to a familiar face. We had D'Amico, Steve Wilks, Nick Sorensen, back to Robert Saleh. That's not good for building a defense. Yes, we ran the same defensive scheme. Two of these guys weren't really experts in this scheme. We're bringing in a super expert. I'd like to call him Robert Saleh in this defensive scheme, who, when he was with the Niners, we got to the Super Bowl. However, we did not win the Super Bowl. I personally would have enjoyed Kyle letting the ego go aside and getting a coordinator who would introduce his own scheme, maybe a Dennis Allen or someone of that nature. I would have been fine with that too. But we didn't hire Brandon Staley, so that's a win right there. That's a win right there. Kyle did not promote Brandon Staley to DC. Robert Saleh is back. Niner fans, Niner gang, let me know how you feel about that in the comments below. Again, I hope you guys have enjoyed episode 1 of the Gold Standard. It's the soul of the game. That's what this is all about over here. We're going to be having fun in the future. I'm going to let y'all know when the teams are doing well, when the Warriors and the Niners and the Giants and all that are doing well, I'm going to be talking my shit. I am going to be talking my shit. When things are not going well, I'm also going to be realistic with you guys and let you know, hey, changes might need to happen. That happens in this game, and I'm a realistic fan. So I'm not going to be over here capping and caping and doing all that. We're just going to have fun over here. Again, it's the Gold Standard. I definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget, follow, subscribe. You see the socials down below. TheWiseSole. You can find me on all platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Mainly TikTok and Twitter. That's the main places. Find your boy. We'll get into more episodes later. The Gold Standard episode 1 is done. I'll see y'all next week.